minutes. Oh, it's tag friends. See, it says right there, tag.
Tag them.
Is that Shania? Look at Shania. She's the first one.
2 minutes, guys.
Shania. She's lazy.
Okay, don't do it. Click it. Oh.
She's putting her.
Okay, Kiana's watching.
Shania.
Hey, Shania, boo, I miss you.
And we'll move this for now.
Yeah, you know how to do that, right? Is it time? It's 6:02. Hey guys, welcome to another. Welcome to another episode entry of Jackie's Journal. And today my guest is my girl Deshawn. So today we're going to talk about, first as usual, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the questions and the feedback. And just for tuning in every week to hear me talk about stuff. So this week we're going to talk about parenthood and the differences in parenthood through the generations. My purpose for this topic is on one of my journal entries. I was going through a little parenting situation in my own life with my kids now that they're older and trying to figure out, you know, the direction that I'm going now, or trying to figure out just stuff that as they got older or as I was raising them. Sometimes you start to think of what, like, what the mistakes that you made, or what you would have done differently, or what you would change, or you might be going through something with a child and you're like, well, did I cause this child to act like this, or whatever the case may be. From my background growing up, my parents were very strict. My parents were very school, home, that was it. You didn't need anything else as a kid. And once my parents divorced, my mom was basically the same way. I feed you, I clothe you, I put a roof over your head, and that's all that you need. Not saying that was wrong, because, all we can do is be the best parents that we can be, regardless of what our circumstances is. I personally don't think that there's a right or wrong way of parenting. I think that whatever works for you and your family, as long as you're taking care of your children and be there for them, then you're being the best parent that you can be. I try to be the type of parent that, I wanted my kids to be able to talk to me. I wanted to be able to not hang out with their friends, but know their friends and be a part of their life, and them not be ashamed of me or scared to bring their friends around me. I didn't want that. I wanted to know who they were hanging out with. I wanted to know where they were going, things like that. I didn't want them to be afraid of bringing home a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Well, a girlfriend at that time, a girlfriend, or whoever they decided to. I don't want them to be afraid of that. I wanted them to be able to bring them to me, even though my oldest son used to say, he used to pre-warn his girlfriends when he brought them over that, don't worry about my mother, she don't like anybody. And that rings true today. It takes a lot for me to like you. So if I like you, I love her. Okay? She was brought up right. If I like you, then I like you and we are good. But if I don't like you, then there's a definite reason, and that's just how it is. So I wanted Deshawn to be here because clearly she's younger. She has 2 amazing kids. When I tell you amazing, they are amazing. And I want her to tell me, what was the difference in the way she raised her daughters to the way her mom might have raised her.
Well, so they're spoiled. So I guess we both, I think I got that from my mother. A lot of things that I talked to them about, like, I didn't feel comfortable with my mother talking to me about. So I try to throw it out there as a fishing rod. Like, if, say, Shania's 16 now, and to me, sex is a big old topic to me, versus my mother, it was like, we didn't have to talk about that. But I'm in her ear. I'm in her ear, like, when we're at the doctor, like, do I need to go into the doctor? Do I need, you know what I mean?
Right.
Versus my mother, like, you know, just tell me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm drilling her, but I'm telling her also, like, be comfortable. Come and tell me. I was scared to tell my mother. But I'll try to make it more, like, you know what I mean, lenient and more, like, I make it more open for her.
It's funny that you said that about the doctor thing, because Ariane is 21, and, you know, she just recently started going to the doctor on her own. But I would make her appointments. I know who her doctor is because we have the same doctor or whatever. And the other day she said to me, I went to the doctor and he said, well, you don't need your mother to make your appointments anymore. You can just come to me. And that just like
made you feel like,
wait a minute, what you mean?
It took away from something
You know, I want to know. She's like, it's not that you're not going to know. It's just that I don't need you to do. I can do that on my own now. And it kind of like,
oh my goodness, like my baby's
she's
growing up.
She's really growing up. And coming from being the spoiled one. Well, actually, I think all of my kids,
they are spoiled.
In
different ways.
They were spoiled. Ariana might have been spoiled because she's the baby and she's the girl.
She is spoiled.
But, whose side you on?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. But you know, the boys before her was the boys, and they were spoiled too. But the way I handle her is completely different from the way I handle. First of all, those boys was bad as hell. So, you know, they had to get it. Yeah. You know, Ariana didn't have to get it, but they had to get it. Orlando had to get it. Orlando got it a lot. He gonna tell you.
He still get it. Yeah.
You know. And I got it too. My mom didn't play. Like, she don't care. She picked something up and like, look, what?
So, I'm the opposite. My mother didn't beat me. And so, in the beginning, I used to beat the girls, right? Until I started listening to them more. Like, I have 9, and she's 9, and she's about to be 10. Her reason for her saying stuff is so real. Like, she'll be like, well, I'll be like, why you didn't close the door? She'll be like, well, because I figured that Shania was going to come in and close back, but I can't beat her because she got a backup. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my mother, I didn't have reason to be like, and another thing, like I know this generation, like nowadays we do stuff for our children more than what they want. Like I saw a post on it was like, okay, well I want LA Kids, Mom, but I'll buy Jordans, I'll buy designer, but I listen to them more. Versus people of your generation, y'all told us what to do. Y'all said, this is what you gotta do. Versus me as a mom, I'm like, this is what I think we should do. And then I'll listen, and then they'll tell me a reason why we shouldn't do it or we should do it another way. No, y'all didn't do that to us. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you need to do this, and this is why you need to do it. I think that like our opinions matter as children. You know what I'm saying? As even in youth, because how will we know the differences of what should happen?
You're coming from a generation that it was children should be seen and not heard.
Right.
Children.
But that kind of hurt us in the back end, you know?
Yeah. If an adult talk to you, then
don't,
be quiet.
Right.
You know, don't talk back.
Versus Nyla.
Because you going to get smacked, Orlando.
Right. But versus Nyla, she's like, and people think that she's being disrespectful to me, like, because we're having this dialogue. It's a dialogue. Exactly. It's not just Nyla, go in the corner because you didn't listen to Mom. It's like, well, what happened? Because what you're doing is what I feel like I'm doing. If I take her out and say we go to school and I'm driving to school and she's angry, what she's going to do is take it out on everyone else around her because I did it. You know what I mean? So I try to alleviate like confrontation between us.
So do you think... I didn't understand when whoever said it, Clinton or whoever said it, his wife or whoever said it takes a village to raise a child.
It does.
I never understood that literally until recent when I started this and I started thinking that, well, damn, what was my village? Other than my village was my mom, my sister.
Right.
That was my village.
It's bigger than that.
But that's not true.
It's way bigger than
because
that.
Growing up, there were people, I had friends in my life that were around when my oldest son was around, my close friends, that they were there. Yeah. And I could, my friend Tracy, I could, when she'd come and get them. It was funny.
But now
she had
not
3
like
kids,
that,
I had 4. and she would drop her 3 kids off and take my 4. Like we just have each other kids.
It ain't that easy like that no more.
That's
all like
no, it's not. But I'm just saying, back then, that was my village. I had, where I used to live, my friend Carol, like we looked out for each other. They knew they couldn't disrespect her. They knew they couldn't disrespect any adult, period.
Yeah, nowadays.
No matter what was going on in the house, I want to be able to walk down the street and say, they are so well behaved.
Yeah.
And in my head, it was like, you see me walking with this bag? That boy right here is bad as hell. You understand what I'm saying?
They just looking
but
right.
when we were out, that's not what it portrayed. Nowadays, what I see with these, when I get on the train with these kids coming from school, and the cursing, and especially the girl, it eats me up because I'm like, ooh, did your mother teach you, like, you can run into one of your mother's friends on a train?
But they didn't have guidance. Like, let me say something. Like how when you introduced me, you said I was brought up well. In reality, like, it's so many girls that didn't have that in their life that guidance, it matters. Like, my mother took me from DC school, like, oh, you going to murder school, because she felt like she was doing it. Even though I still got in trouble in murder school, she just took me out of that environment. A lot of people in this area only know certain stuff. So, like, all they know is what their mother taught them, which was stay in Southeast and do this and this and that. I, myself, we got, a brighter horizon. A lot of people didn't go to college. A lot of these girls, they don't get to do a lot of stuff that, the fortunate doesn't. I used to, like, try to fit in with people that were low. I got backlash for that because I used to try to, like, get myself to, and I used to feel bad for the people that didn't have, but in reality, they didn't care. They realized was, like, living it, like, oh, this is it for us, and we ain't got to worry about, like, versus me, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, let me go my butt back home, because this is not, I didn't have to live like that, but I used to feel bad for them, so I would just like, oh, let me just, let me just fit in with you, and let me just, but my kids, I had my kids go around, like, neighborhoods where kids would steal their stuff, and they're just like, my mom used to be like, why do you keep doing that? You got, like, don't keep on trying to push yourself into stuff, but I just, like, I myself, I wish I could open up a nonprofit to, like, younger females, like, of my age, and let them know, like, even younger than me, let them know that the buck don't stop there. Like, myself, I'm going back to get my GED. I didn't graduate. I'm going back to get my GED because I need to brighten my horizons. I want to go to school. It don't stop there. Even though I work my butt off since 16.
Right.
And I work for my kids, so I devote so much time to my kids, and I know a lot of people that don't. You know what I mean? I be looking at them like, you don't know how long we got here.
I feel the same way. Like, I became a mom when I was 17.
Right, and all we knew was our kids.
All I've known,
And
so
then,
now I'm separating from that.
And you get focused on you. Yeah, but it's still like, okay, what about my kids, though? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how old they are. They're still going to be a kid. Hello, you need your mom now.
Yeah.
If I need my mother now, I'm like, Mom, she might cuss a little bit and be like,
but she gonna be there.
But she gonna be like,
but
okay, let me see what I can do.
Didn't get to do that.
Right.
And they didn't get like, okay, like say, my mom said don't open the door for no one. Some people mothers wasn't home enough to say that. You know what I mean? And it's not their fault. But if you don't want to get out of it, and some of them get it mentally stuck in their mind, like, okay, this is it for me. Get your ass to school. Watch, won't eat this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay on the system. And then I see a lot of young girls reaching out, like they working more, they getting out the system, their kids clean. You know what I'm saying? Because they starting to care, but a lot of them get stuck. We get men that keep us under. If we not gonna be able to. You know what I'm saying? We can't be parents to our kids. I feel like a lot of people of y'all generation, the grandmothers took a lot of y'all work from y'all.
Ha! Now, Mama, let me tell you something.
Not yours.
Let me tell you something.
And not my mother did her thing.
I agree with you.
Y'all babies don't say it easier than us.
I'm gonna tell you this. When I got pregnant when I was 16 years old. I had a friend who had a child at 14. I had a friend. 14. I don't know where she was, but I know all I can remember about this girl is that she had the prettiest little baby ever, and she was at everything. She was at every party. She was hanging out, and her mother or her grandmother had her kid, and I remember thinking, yo, if I ever have a kid, that's not gonna be me.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't even have to think that because My mother didn't play that.
Right.
You decided to have this kid. You're gonna take care of this kid, and you want to bathe. You want to go. My mother, my son was like 2, almost 3 years old before my mother allowed me to go out.
Oh wow! But that's
and when I was going out, she was like, "Oh, you want to go somewhere? Then you have to pay me." But then you can't. And I was like, "Well, I'm
responsible."
Then I'm like, "Well, I'm not leaving my baby with you." She was
Right.
like, "Oh, but you can't leave him with nobody else either because you gotta pay them. So you want to pay them, you don't know them,
and you
won't pay me. No, then you can't go." And I'm living in my mother's house, and I'm still a kid. So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stay in the house, or I'm gonna slide her $20 or whatever the hell. At that time, I didn't appreciate that. I was like, man, she's being a
harsh, but no.
Why is she being so mean?
Yeah.
Now, when I think back of it, if she didn't do that, and she just grabbed my kid every time I wanted to go somewhere or whatever, then I wouldn't exactly. And my kids would be calling. Well, they call her mommy anyway. Yeah. But that's who they would
gravitate to for everything.
Right. It wouldn't be me. All they know is, oh, my grandmother took care of us. Yeah. My grandmother did this. Yeah, she did, but not because she had. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not because I was running the street, or I wasn't looking after them, or I was,
right.
because my mother didn't play. Not yo-yo.
But back in she said not yo-yo.
Yeah.
But some of them they had it sweet. So like, but our parents is just like, go do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a good thing because y'all younger and y'all still want to live.
Right.
And it helps us like not be a slouchy parent. Some of us anyway. What else do we so like on the train the girls be cussing the kids out. And what you think the kids do when they go outside? Cuss out their own kids out.
Cuss the kids out. They talk nasty to like we've been on a train. Me and Omar been on a train and they cussing and it's. I always get embarrassed because they black kids. Mm-hmm. And we on a train. There's a bunch of white people on there, and I'm like, you doing all this? They already have whatever thought they have about us and our children, and then this is how you portray yourself when you out in public. I'm telling you, my mother didn't. She like you don't embarrass her, and that. That was them. Don't go out there and let me get on a train or get somewhere and somebody tell me, oh, I saw your kids on the train. And they was doing it. They was swinging from the head. No. Who's going to handle that? Yeah. But nowadays.
There's no home training. That's the whole thing.
It's bad.
It climbs all the way from the top. Like, the dad not there. The mother could be, think about it. We live in this area. This is a high drug profile. So a lot of them girls that we saw raise their siblings. Because their moms, you know what I'm saying? So they frustrated. They don't have no outlet. It's really in the sad. It becomes the fortunate versus the unfortunate. Like how I can just give my kid tender love and care because I received tender love care. You know what I mean? A lot of girls didn't get that. A lot of men didn't get that, so they don't even know, how to do it either. So it's just lacking. I think it's just like poor raisement. I guess if people not getting raised. What's
lack of home training.
Lack of home training. Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's what it is.
And yesterday, in talking about, I was having a conversation. I'm going to call him out here. Mm-hmm. With Orlando. Yeah. And in having a conversation with him, he was saying, some stuff he said to me, and I was like, at first, I got in my feelings a little bit, and I was like. But then when I thought about it,
my mom on here,
it was like a light bulb that went off because I'm like, okay, I can't get mad at him for the way he feels because this is his feeling. So if I stop to think about it, I'm like, you know what, you're right. You know what I'm saying? You absolutely right. I could have handled this situation better, or I could have said XYZ or done XYZ.
But when he becomes a parent of his own, he's going to see, like, it's a lot of stuff that I can, like,
you make your own mistakes.
Yeah. When, like, I can tell my mother, oh, now I realize how you felt when this happened to you, mommy.
Yeah, it happened to me.
And I'm glad that it had to happen to her so she can help me through it. And, like, Lord, it was a post that said, send your parents this. I think that you should pay for all my bills because I didn't ask to be here.
My dummy sent it to me too.
And so in reality, it's like, dang, well, I did ask to be here, but this is all this is a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we didn't ask to be here, but God gave them the grace to make us happen, and we here. So, like, no, that we can't hold y'all for too long for because y'all gave us.
You think about it, I'm like, well, damn, where would I be now
if you didn't?
if I didn't? Like, I can't.
Woo!
I can't even picture my life
You just
without
took my soul. I want to be somewhere in the gutter.
I don't know what would have
kids.
became of me. So I feel like however my life has turned out is exactly what God had for me. Because if He didn't, then they wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and He gave you that so you can pass it on to us. Because I look at you, I look up to you as a mother. Period. Like, overall, ever since I met you, it's just like all good standards. Like, even if you had bad moments, and we all had bad moments together, we can cry together, we don't laugh together, like as mothers. Period. And you handle your business. Point blank. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody won't have those down moments. But if I look at you and say, oh, well, Mama, I remember that time with Mama Jackie. You know what I'm saying? We got people to look up to, but guess what? Everybody don't have people.
Everybody, exactly.
And everybody, they're not going to be able to, like, I got friends nowadays that I want to be like, come on, girl, let's go do this and that, but they're not ready for me. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can't go. They're not a mother. Like, you know what I mean? They don't, it's not like, and it's unfair.
So, how do you feel about? I said you can't be friends with your kids, and I have mixed feelings about that.
I love my mom. That's
because
my best
right.
friend.
But you know, some people said that
It's not good.
You can't be a parent. You can't be a parent and a friend. I mean that's real old school stuff.
I just don't believe that. Your parent is your first friend. To me, anyway. Like,
or they
as
should
a mother,
be, or they should
both
be.
ways. Like, my mother, or they should be like, you should be able to come to your mom and tell you stuff, tell your mom stuff you can't tell your friend. Period. That is your best friend. She know everything. You know, that's your friend. Vice versa. Like, if Shania comes to me and it's some stuff she not gonna be able to tell me. She not gonna become.
Or she not
I
gonna
don't want to know.
Yeah, some things I'm.
But I wouldn't mind if she told me. I would just have to take it in. But so you do. I mean, people be like, I don't need friends. You do need friends, but I think that parenting and friendship, you just have to weigh it. Like, you gotta bring it up. Like,
you gotta know when to be a parent. You
gotta
know when to be a parent.
Like,
and when
even
to be a
Nyla
friend.
too. Like, I'm her own. Like, she don't have a whole lot of little friends because I think that influence is important. Like, your intake. Like, I might not have been doing this certain thing as a woman or a child if I wasn't hanging around these certain people. I feel like that about my children. And I say that, and I try not to like be like, oh, you can't do this, or be like Bobby Boucher. What's the man? Football is the devil. What's that movie? Like, I try not to be that mother, but I do watch that and say, like, if I see like little Bobo and them running down the street throwing rocks at people, cause I'm probably not gonna be like, nah, you wanna go ride your bike? Me and you know what I'm saying? So in a sense, I am her friend. Or like, if somebody tee her off, I'm gonna go outside and play with her. Like, you don't need so. But whenever she know like it's time for you to go to sleep, and I say go to sleep, like, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I don't want to play
when I'm not being.
Yeah, but I am your girl though.
But at the same time, I guess we have to, and I think that's where I kind of, I don't want to say messed up, but that's where okay.
We can't my thing is this. Be popping now though.
If you mess with my kid, my thing is, if you mess with one of my kids, then I'm done with you. I don't even care if they okay with you after the fact, because I'm always gonna be that protective mother. I'm always gonna protect my kids from whoever or whatever. Even though they be like, because Orlando be like, you gotta let that go.
You do.
You gotta stop.
And
and that's the hardest thing for me.
But that's more so of you have to deal with that spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta let go. I mean, I know. Don't nobody want no more. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't nobody want no parent want nothing done to their child. But at the end of the day, like, if my friend do something like, she go do something with one of my ex-friends, whatever, I'm like, Mom, this. But when I go to reality, I'm like, oh, he's some girl, she's some girl, but like, oh, her mom died, I want to be there for her. My mom will be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I'm just like, God, this is something that I'm doing for me, or I'm doing this for my heart, or inside of my heart, or I might miss how the heck we turn up, and that man might not have been that important to me more than that bond. I just know how to deal with that person. You can't hold it against you, because that's too much energy.
That's
for
true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's just like,
I'm a work in progress with that.
No, okay, I'm okay.
You pray for me, but I'm being straight up.
am.
That's how I feel.
It's energy wasted.
But I also need to. What I had to learn as well is that I have to allow them to make their own mistakes.
Yeah.
Because
And
them making a
them,
mistake,
yeah.
they're gonna learn and they're gonna evolve. Or they're gonna fall, and they're gonna
How do
fall
we
a
know
few
if we're
times. You
making a
can't always
mistake?
pick y'all up and save you.
You can't.
And when you're a parent,
Especially when we grown.
and you're a good parent, you try to be like, you're gonna fall. Let me stop you from falling, but you can't.
We gotta
do that
fall. If we don't fall, if you don't let us fall, then we won't know how to pick ourselves up.
Okay. Y'all pray for me. I need
the work.
I'm a work in progress. I need Jesus.
Energy. She's not me.
So, like I was saying, I was having a conversation with Orlando yesterday, and I want him to kind of like, not address the conversation that we were having, but like there was a few eye-opening moments for me in this conversation when he was like, well, you never taught me how to do X, Y, Z, so so I'm bad at this. You understand what I'm saying? How he was basically saying how generational things that we do as parents, how then it rubs off on our kids. And you don't think about it. Like, honestly, I never thought about it until, like, yesterday was an aha moment. I was like, damn. It was like an aha moment. I was like, I never knew this is how
it hurt
felt.
It hurt. Because when I say it to my mom, or if I try to like even like detail it, I'm hurting her. Like she'll be like, she's very sensitive. And I'm like, but mom, I'm just telling you, like, about even to the fact when it comes to like even when I go, I always like say as a mother, I want my kids to have everything. Like my dad, like they were good parents. Don't get me wrong, they love me, I know. But when God forbid, if something was to happen to my mother, I don't have nothing in my name for me. Like, I don't have nothing that she left me. So as a mother, I want to say, okay, I got to go out here and learn how to buy me a house. My mama don't have no house. My mama don't, you know what I mean? She never told me, like, okay, when it was time for me to go out and, like, my mama used to clean my room till I was, like, 12. Like, so when it come to me, like, you know what I'm saying? Seriously, like, I broke out. Yeah, see, that's it. And she will still, to, like, you know what I'm saying? I know you see her on the book, like, I want if my daughter know I can cook. I mean, that she can still cook. Cause she'll go in there and cook up all of this food. And I'll be like, okay, Mom, why did you do that? Because I just,
Yeah, and then when you address it, then we get sensitive. Honestly, let me tell you how bad it was with the conversation. It was a really good conversation I had with Orlando. And then today, you know, I was so much in my feelings that I called Omar and I said, I think I'm not going to do the show today.
You wasn't going to do the show.
I said, I'm not going to do the show.
And that's what my mother takes out when she was watching. She won't watch it later. She said, don't you get on there and talk bad about me. She is so, I said, Mom, I'm not going to do it because
like, why?
But listen, let me tell you something. It's constructive feedback. You need, who better to hear it from?
Right.
Who better than, if you have an issue or you didn't do something, like, I might have felt like I did in the beginning. I said, my grandmother did a lot for me. And if my mother, it's the truth, like my grandmother and my aunts, it's the village. But I'm grateful because at that time, she was working, you know what I'm saying? She didn't have time, but if I say it to her in a certain way, oh my God, the sky is going to fall, you know what I'm saying? But
presentations, the way you say it is what affects.
The way you say it can affect the way.
Right. It affects how I'm going to respond to you or how I'm going to feel. So he didn't say it in a bad way yesterday. So that's what made the light bulb go
So in
off.
a sense, like as a child of being an only child, you know what I'm saying? Her only child, like, and being sheltered because of the fact that I'm still sheltered, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, my friend, like my peer, a couple of my peers, they know how I go out here and get it. Like, I mean, I know how to go out here and get money. I know how to go out here and get a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff, I'd be like, oh, dang, that never called. It's like, yeah, because my, you know, such and such, my dad told me this and that, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, my mom did that for me. So, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it's a blessing because some people didn't have parents like y'all to do it. It's a curse and it's a gift. Like, I'm with it, but then I'm like, dang, I had to grow up. Like, I'm still I'm fighting. It's a fight. It's like it's like, God forbid, if something happens to y'all, we gonna be lost in stars. We gonna be like,
all my children gonna be lost. They every single
we
switch
gonna be
they
lost.
switch
We gonna be
real
lost.
quick.
So come on, we gonna be We lost.
This is King O. Not O like in the letter. O like zero.
Zero.
No, King O. How you doing?
So, we don't have to go into the discussion. I mean, you can. But what my aha moment was when you said to me, well, you never taught me, or you're not good with managing money, so I'm not good with managing money. And
yeah, because okay, so basically what it was the conversation is that a lot of things that happen to our parents can filter and trickle down to us in different ways. So here it is that you have 5 kids, and we all have these different personalities, but a lot of these personalities come from pieces of you and how we were raised. You know what I'm saying?
that was my ding ding.
So, and a lot of times a lot of parents don't even like understand that, like, oh, why my child talk like that, or why is he so rude? Not the rude part, but why is he so aggressive, or why is she so quiet, or why is he so this and that? But that's all attributes that you have. So you shutting down sometimes is another a way of showing me, like, okay, well, when something goes wrong, I need to shut down. You know what I'm saying?
I'm the shout.
So
it
trickles down. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I said yesterday was like, there's a lot of things that in my life that I didn't. Yeah, you were a good mother. You provided for us. You gave us everything. We've been and did things that a lot of kids have never experienced. That doesn't take away from your mothering skills, but it takes away from, for me as a human being, like the communication thing is something that you have to learn human nature wise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so it brings me back to the point where I said, well, one of my biggest things for me that I have a problem with is being financially organized. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how to be all the way financially organized because my mom wasn't always as financially organized. That's not saying she was broke or poor or anything like that, but, you know, my mom would
Spend money.
Like,
And she
you know what I'm saying? And we've had Christmas, and can I say this?
Go ahead.
This is in the past, but this is years and years ago. We were little. We would have Christmas and literally see the tree tilted to the side because the gifts is literally like crawling up the wall, like gifts all the way up into the ceiling. But then maybe a month later, the light is off. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wait, I don't understand.
That's facts.
I don't understand. I don't understand that. I was like, damn, okay, wait a minute. My mama's working. She's giving us all these. We have every Jordan, everything, all of this. But then the light gets cut off. So it was like, okay, somebody, as I got older, and me being my 30-year-old self, I don't look 30, but me being 30, I kind of understand, like, okay, there was some type of financial unorganization going on. And I kind of developed that in a sense, in a way too, where I kind of became dependent on me knowing that my mother gonna be there. She gonna help me out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that a good thing? No, because now it's like I'm a 30-year-old man. I gotta realize, like, okay, boom. She may not be there all the time, or she may not be able to get you out of that jam. So I gotta, cause she has her own, exactly. She has her own stuff going on, but this is now my life. So it's like you never kind of taught me that, not like, and I'm not saying teach like sat down and say this is what you got to do, but
It's what you saw.
Yeah.
it's what I saw. So that's what I'm saying. Like for me, and everybody's experience might be different. My other brothers and my sister might have another experience, and you would have to, as a parent, be able to say, well, you know what? I accept that, because you can't think just because you're giving us a place to live and you're feeding us and you're clothing us and you're doing this thing, that's being a parent.
Right.
That's not being a. I think it's more to it. It's an
absolutely.
overall situation.
Somebody ask a question.
I don't know. You can see. Hi.
Hi, Omar. Okay.
Yeah.
Move that way, because then they can't see you again.
Okay. So, sorry guys. Sorry.
I get it. No.
Okay.
So I get it. Like I said, it was my aha moment You know, that's why I said in the beginning, there's a wrong way to be a parent. But if you're, all we can do is be the best parents that we know how.
And then another thing too, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
For kids, so we can't also hold a lot of try to hold things in all the time. So even if you like holding things in with your mom or your dad or whatever kid, we have to kind of learn how to, like you and Sean said, let things go. Because sometimes it's like holding all of that stuff in only causes like more stress and stuff on top of everything else that's going on. So I feel like it's my responsibility, not say that, well, my mom didn't teach me how to be financially stable, financially organized. So that's that. No, not now that becomes an excuse. Right. So now it's gonna be like, okay, you're gonna man up. You're gonna sit in that, or you're gonna learn how to do it.
It's my mother's fault. She should have taught me how to do it. She didn't teach me, so I'm just gonna spend money I don't have, and I'm stuck in. Right. Instead of learning from it.
Instead of learning from it and be like, well, man, you're gonna get your ass up and learn how to budget and do this,
and probably can teach her too.
And yeah, basically. So instead of you buying them Gucci shoes, you might want to hey Gucci.
Hey Miss Gucci.
You might need to fall back and take care of this first. You know. You know. I use that excuse all the time. But seriously, so that's just how I look at it now. I'm trying to get better at it because, you know, it's a messed up situation, but I don't think it's something that we can't learn from. It's different. It's definitely different because, you know, moving forward, I want things for my life to be a little better. And I want, yes, you provided for us in a great life, but I want my life moving forward to be even better than what my mom provided for me.
When you have kids in the future,
you
have kids if you want to.
Yeah,
if you want to, you don't be good with it. But still, you're going to be able to teach yours. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And even Ari, too. Like, she young, coming up. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? For my sister, her outlook might be completely different because she's been literally spoiled.
Y'all not gonna keep talking about my daughter. Y'all not gonna keep talking about my daughter. Please stop talking about my daughter. Thank you very much.
But it's different. So we all have our own, like, just because like me and my brothers, and this is before Ari, we all lived in the same house. Our experiences are all different. Like, it's all different. Like, I might feel like she was the best parent in the whole world, but then I got three. My older brother might feel like she was the worst, and my little brother JR might feel like she was alright, and the older one might feel like she was the. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It all depends on how we all see things.
But I think she has really fair-rounded kids.
I'm gonna say he don't want to be an adult.
I know, right? I want to be
I'm giving up. I'm giving up.
I'm not grown.
The topic is parenthood, Carol.
Parenthood.
The difference in parenting.
The differences in parenting now and then our generation and these new generation children. Who gave me a shout out?
No, I'm saying you gave her a shout out.
And I gave you a shout out, Carol. See, so you was late. You missed it. You part of the village.
Yeah, because and you know what? Going back to the village thing too, it's good that a lot of people didn't have like a village. Like we were fortunate. We were fortunate to have people like, you know, that we call aunts like Carol and people like Tracy, that we could go on the block and my mother could go to work and we knew we was okay. They would whoop our ass. Yeah. You know, if we got out of line. You know,
Tracy didn't play that. Tracy didn't play that. They knew how.
I got girlfriends and my kids can't go to their houses, but you were blessed to have that.
You know what I'm saying? We were able to.
And I had 4 sons.
And they would take, literally, we would be over. I remember, like, we used to be over Carol house all day long.
And sometimes, like, me and Carol would be gone, and they would be over there with her daughters. They knew they was good.
And that's a whole other generation. There you go.
And then all would be home, and we'd be going shopping or whatever, and we knew that they knew that when we got back, that shit, nothing better be wrong.
Or we better be right there on that block.
Fights on the block. They had some fights on the block. But but other than that, everything was good.
Right.
So so that's why when I was like, I didn't have a village, but I did have.
And it's messed up. A lot of people don't have that now. I think because the parents now are getting like younger and younger and younger.
And then nowadays it's so much stuff. It's like you gotta be afraid of who's gonna touch your child, who's gonna kill your child. Right. You know.
And but you know what? Like I said, it's unfortunate because back then you have those same issues, but I think it was more underground.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It wasn't more. It wasn't all this media, all these cameras. People were scared to talk. And then like speaking about like generations, like you gotta think about the grandmothers, like that lady Bernice.
Right.
Like she's out there. Her body 24/7. She look good, but when her grandkids get older, like I know if that was my mother, I would be like, Mom, you doing too much. Turn it down.
Yeah.
But that's that's like the grandmother nowadays. Like I'm eligible. Knock on wood, God. At the age of 33, I can be a grandma. If my
and that's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah, I was 16 when I was pregnant. Whereas I always thank God. I'll be like,
like that was me when Ariana got to 15 and 16 and I was like, ooh, she ain't get pregnant. Woo! Now she's 21. She ain't pregnant. Thank you, Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like
it's weird the things that you celebrate.
And
like
she got 4 crazy ass brothers.
That's not
playing. Not playing.
Ain't going for nothing.
What you think you doing? Not right now.
Period.
But no, so I just think that looking at it as the child or whatever, well not the child, but the grown child, I'll say, that it's all different. Our experience is different. You know what I'm saying? I think we all have our like shortcomings on life. So I think that whatever I didn't learn from my mother, it's my responsibility now to just learn how to do it because my mother ain't gonna always
go back to her and teach her.
That too,
I think it's a recycling thing.
It's a recycling thing.
And I think it's like they say it's a circle of life because like what they lacked, we gotta pick up. Even Shania them smarter than me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm young still, but it's the circle of life.
And we just gotta be careful. Like my thing is, like if my mom shut down, she also has to be careful with shutting down because then you can't expect that when you want to talk or you. That's
that thing. When they say you gonna get it back double. You know what I'm saying? It's just the little things.
It's true.
It's just those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Because even my mom shuts down, so then when I do it, then Shania do it now. Then Shania do it. It trickles down. Period. Like for everyone. So it's not just. And then it's not just here. You know what I'm saying? At your house.
Yeah.
It's bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? All the spoiled kids probably I feel like.
Am I being tag team?
No, I'm getting on what I'm just saying. Like all the spoiled kids, because they
y'all wanted to get on my daughter. Y'all wanted to get on my daughter. I was spoiled first before she was.
But I think it's a blessing to have a good, foundation, a good foundation. That's what we had, but they just didn't have no guidance.
And I think us being, but sometimes being spoiled ain't always the good thing too because
it's
a gift and a curse, because it's like I said, we were able to we did everything, and we weren't bad kids.
Name a group that ain't got somebody envious of you because of what we've been through. It's just like I'm just saying, it's like so many people just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
because I heard you say something earlier, like I used to. Feel the same way, like not try to fit in all the way, but just try to kind of like. I think when I got to high school, I kind of like not trying to not dumb myself down just to kind of make everybody. But then after a while, I was like, no, just because you ain't had that, don't mean I'm gonna act like I don't have it.
It was a 50-50 because I used to feel bad, so I used to like try to be like equal. But like my mom, like, why you spending your runs? You gotta, you know what I'm saying? Why you want to go over there like, you. Come home, eat steak. You over there eating noodles with your friends.
Then what I started doing was, I started doing bringing my friends around my mom and around my family.
So my house was always the house.
So my house was always like,
my house was always
y'all, we going to Miss Jackie's house, or we gonna go to Atlanta house.
All the kids coming to eat.
Yeah.
And then I started feeling away with that too after a while.
My mom had a lot of response. Like she wasn't about to be feeding everybody in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like we had good things.
But the thing is, I started feeling a way where it was like more like, okay, this is my mom now, but then I started realizing, you know what, this might be what they need because a lot of people are not fortunate to have parents who are open, who they can talk to. So my friends started doing that with my mother. They started talking to her about their own personal issues. They started coming over, and sometimes I would be like,
my oldest son hated it too.
Yeah, he
hates it till this day. He was like, but your real kids, like he'll say stuff like, "Are you doing something with your real kids?"
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
But at the end of the day, what I realized, I used to feel away too. But at the end of the day, what I realized is it's okay because everybody needs that extra
Right.
person.
Because
You
you
know what
can't
I'm
tell
saying?
her, like, yeah, you can't tell your
They
parents.
need that. So I'm like, well, if y'all feel like my mother could be another mother to y'all, because guess what? I have other people that I looked at as second mothers, not to say she wasn't doing her job or whatever, but I just looked up to them because I like who they were as a person.
Yeah.
So they were a second mother
So
to
do
me.
you ever feel like somebody ever tried to take advantage of it, or like try to like?
Not really take advantage, but I knew when I had to be like, okay, you need to fall back a little
From my
bit.
mother.
Not
Yeah,
from my
like,
mother.
not-
No, because my mother gonna be my mother regardless.
No, but I'm just saying, like, how do I want to put it? Like, some people aren't like you can try to help people all you want, and like you can bring them in, but some people just like still.
Well, yeah. Those people.
Like, you're not bad and let you have my mother. Like, I had a girl that I used to give a ride. This is what I'm asking. That girl, like, and my mother is like your mother, like very taken, like she loved people, and like the girl just like lied and said something, like it was like on my mother, and then that hurt me. I'm like, oh bitch, I shared my mother.
Yeah, so
like
some,
now I want to
yeah,
kill
some
you. Like,
stuff.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
some stuff I'm very protective
Yeah,
of when it
my
comes
mother.
to my mom or
Yeah.
my family or stuff like that. I'm very protective. That's why I don't post a lot of stuff like personal stuff online with my family, but because I'm very protective of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm now like I understand why some of my friends still call my mom to this day.
Yeah.
To,
Like, me
to,
too,
have,
to
to have
this day,
conversations or have talks about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, but she feel like she failed in certain areas, but I look up to her because she has four y'all? Five, right. So she has double plus what I had. So I'm looking at her like, dang, if she can do this, and like when I put up here, I'm like, yeah, Mama Jackie, like even I don't care how this, yeah, like this is good. Like we have people, so like I just want them to know, like as a parent, like even my mother, like she can have a lot of stuff that she can be like, oh, I didn't do this for you, I didn't, but y'all still paved the way.
Yeah.
And look at her, look at overall deep, but like it's a blessing to have them though.
And it's funny that he said like he have like other people that he considered mom or whatever the case may be, but and I know that Omar does as well. But sometimes like it made me feel some type of way. Like, well, what you getting from that person that you're not getting from me?
Yeah.
Or
It's just
what
a
makes
level of
them
respect.
What
thing.
But
It's just
me
a
not
respect.
thinking, well, damn, you got 15
Other
people that call you mom.
Right.
But you this bother. I'm not thinking. I'm thinking, well, look, I
And
am the
people-
cool
I'm
mom.
right.
Why you
Yeah.
over there with somebody else calling
And
them?
the thing is, my thing was I didn't have a problem with my friends being open to my mom, as long as they knew boundaries and knew that it was a respect thing. So I didn't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It's all good because my thing is a lot of parents can, and to this day I'm very comfortable with saying that all of my friends' parents could never ever say that Orlando or Omar or
I need
anyone
your passion.
has been disrespectful.
Period.
I don't believe in disrespecting no parent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But there was this one
She
lady.
was, yeah. It get like that sometimes.
There was this one lady I had to give a piece of my mind something good.
Only
that,
one?
Don't tell them
No,
that.
it was maybe two. But other than
But
that,
those
it's
were the
not.
two, yeah.
But
Right,
other than
yeah.
that, I've never been disrespectful
Yeah.
to someone's, especially someone's mother, because I would dare somebody to be disrespectful to
That's my
mine.
mother.
This elbow right here hurts. It hurt. Like I dare you be disrespectful to my mom. I'm just being real. So, I learned that, and like I said, the way my mother carried herself, and my aunt and my grandmother,
Right.
it forced me to be like, oh yeah, I'm never gonna be disrespectful to a
Yeah.
woman. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A woman,
I even
because
tell my little cousins.
I was raised with women.
Yep.
I was raised. My mother friends, like those people that we named Carols, the Tracys, the people like that I grew up with in the like Boys and Girls Club. These were all women I was surrounded by. So I had no choice. I know how to treat like a woman.
Right.
I don't know treat.
But I just feel like I think like some of us like that's still like even you doing this is like oh yeah y'all.
I couldn't help it.
I can't.
I had to
It's time for
squeeze that.
it's time for Orlando to get off the camera.
You guys
And
I had to squeeze that in.
and Deshaun gonna come back and you gonna read the questions
Okay, I'll read the
Oh, you
question.
got questions?
Bye, y'all.
That is so.
because I
funny.
can't see. So you're gonna have to
Okay.
see what you can see for me. Cal said, yes, she was your second mother. She sure was.
Yeah, she was. JR was your favorite, though.
JR was everybody's favorite.
Oh, that's good.
Because he was the
That's my little
baby. He was the
brother.
baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Scroll down, Orlando.
Okay.
The other way.
Okay.
Hi, Dulcina.
You already got that music on.
I know, like she.
Go ahead. I got you. Go ahead.
It's on it.
Go ahead, talk.
Oh,
Just go ahead. I got you.
okay. So parenting, then Omar just writing
that's
down.
okay.
Okay, so it's mostly comments. But anyway, thank you guys for watching.
Yes.
That's it for us for today. I want to thank my girl Deshawn for coming here. I love
She's so
her.
fine.
I love her mom too.
Yes.
Like shit.
Make sure you guys like and share,
And look forward next Sunday.
and look forward to next Sunday.
You wanna know what topic is up?
I do, but I don't want to say.
It was fun. If you guys get a chance, come over here with them. It's always a pleasure. This is like, oh my God, they always make you feel like family.
I know
Such a
what the
blessing.
topic is, but I'm not going to say. And I might not have a guest next week. I don't think I'm going to need one. So it might just be me. Or maybe I will have a guest. See, things happen during the week. People hit me up. Or
Yeah,
the
something like that.
spirit, like I said, the spirit comes to me and says, no, you need to open that journal and talk about this.
Yeah.
So it depends on that. But as of right now.
And I just want to
know
tell you
it.
that I admire your parenting, regardless of how you always feel you've done a good job. And I look up to you. And you're a good mom. You've always been day one. A1.
She aight. She aight.
No, she's a good mom. She's a good mom. Kids spoiled.
Say it again. Say it again for the people in the back. Say it again, Deshawn.
All right, they spoiled.
Thank
All
you.
of them.
Every single last one of them.
The old
Spoiled.
to the young.
Carol no. Tracy no. All of them no. These niggas was spoiled.
Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week. Deuces.